Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor. I almost called it.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something new. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Survivor Now Stockwatch, episode 8. And with us, we have the one and only Leslie from Survivor China. Leslie, how are you doing today?
I am so good. So excited to talk about Survivor with two people who love it just as much as I do, if not more. So yeah, I'm good. Having a great day.
I'm glad to hear. Are you like I know once you go on Survivor, people will always share like whether or not they still watch the show. I know you said you just saw the last episode 5 minutes ago before we started the stream. But like, are you still like excited? Like, are you excited every Wednesday? Do you still actively look forward to it? Or is it more of a, when it's convenient for me, I'll watch kind of deal with Survivor now?
I used to be obsessed with watching as it was airing because I didn't want to have any spoilers. At this point, though, like I took a few years off to sort of, focus on some personal things I was going through. And as I did, I kind of stepped away from it. And now I'm back and I'm loving this season, loving the personality. Amazing. And I'm so excited to be back. But I do have to admit, I watch it when I can. I'm very busy. I do 2 podcasts. I teach fitness classes. I coach people. It's a lot. So I do what I can, but I do fit it in. It's a priority for sure.
I'm glad to hear. And yeah, 2 podcasts and that sounds like a lot. Is that a fun? Are you having fun doing that, Leslie?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I have one podcast. It's called Honoring the Journey. And I share stories of people who are like leaving religion and trying to find spirituality outside of it. And so it's kind of heavy. And I've been doing that for a couple years and I love it. It's amazing. But just in August, I started another podcast called Beyond the Torch. And it's with Todd Herzog, the winner of Survivor China. And, we've been good friends ever since the show. And now we just get to talk about it every week. And we have a new Survivor on and we talk about like why they did the show, what was casting like, what are some things maybe we didn't see, and like, what are you up to now? Did the show change your life? It's just really fun. So that one is like, it's lightening up my life a lot.
Yeah. Well, plus it's like your entrance back into like the Survivor community as well, not just watching the show.
Well, no, and as a different, like I've changed a lot since the show. And I feel like now this is kind of my re-entry. It's like, okay, I'm a different person now, but I'm still Leslie. I still love people and I'm still very kind. I'm just not religious anymore. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of fans too would be surprised to hear that, considering the episode 1 premiere of Survivor China. I'm not gonna pry into anything.
Hey, listen, I don't regret anything. It's all made me the woman I am today. It helped me. And Survivor really opened my eyes to different ways of seeing the world. I think we're all convinced that the world sees everything just the way we do, but they don't, guys. Yeah. They don't. No. And it's actually quite beautiful when you like stop fighting that and just go with it.
Oh, 100%. I'm also very glad to hear you're still in touch with Todd Herzog and doing the little, I don't know. I feel like I think you get more insight hearing from 2 Survivor players than 2 bums named Will and Josh. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? It's more, it's funny. It is, of course, centered around our favorite show. And we also wanted to do it because season 50 is about to come around. And there's a lot of people that should have been on that show. I think every contestant who's been on it should have been on it. You know what I mean? Just to really celebrate. But this is our way of kind of, sharing that spotlight with everyone. If and as far back as, season 1, we'll be just shining that light and letting them share their journey with everyone. So,
oh yeah, I mean, there's truly, honestly, no other show like Survivor in that regard. I feel like it is very spiritual in nature, despite even what's going on this season with the Shannon, debacle and how she was and how that was, shown. But you can kind of tell the people who especially like make it a little farther as well. Like there's something about the way they reflect on the season. We hear it from Alex too, especially. And so it's very cool to have a platform to really showcase that light and not just the strategy
or the strategy. We don't really talk about that a lot. There's enough podcasts doing that. This is more, I call it a human interest with a survivor focus. How did the show change our lives? And not only our lives, but we have a segment called The Fans Have Spoken. And we always share like a phone call. We have a voicemail box and people leave messages and like, how did this show shape your life? And it is freaking unbelievable. It's so cool. Like, amazing.
Survivor fans are the biggest like group of nerds you'll ever see. Everyone's just it's self-contained, I think is the best way to put it.
Community. We all need community.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great when you can connect on something that you're both or all passionate about. It's funny, even I went to a Rob Has a Podcast event last week in San Francisco, and I'm sitting in this auditorium with like 1,000 people who love the show. And we're watching it together and they're clapping and, booing and screaming. And it was like, I haven't been to church since 2016, but I was like, this is that same feeling of like, we're all here to celebrate something that we all are connected by. And so for me, it was kind of a neat little realization that you can get that feeling outside of church. It doesn't have to be in it. And, not that we were worshiping Survivor, please don't get me wrong, but we all had this common connection, a thread that kind of ran through it. And it was just really cool to be surrounded by people who got me and who I got, it's fun.
It's me and Josh, we went to a Survivor event during the finale of the last season, the Bryce and Wendell Presents.
Yes.
And it was also my first time at like an event, and it was so claustrophobic and so packed. But the beauty of it is that because everyone is there for Survivor, you can tell everyone is very harmless. Because what is a Survivor fan going to realistically do to you on like the streets?
Just
rant
want to
about
take
Parvati?
Yeah, I like
Exactly.
want to argue with you about who's the better Survivor winner.
Yeah, whether or not Russell deserves it, like everyone's friendly,
Yeah, I don't think it's dangerous at all. And I also always say it's fun because when you've been on Survivor, you really do have this bond with anybody else who's been on any season. It doesn't matter if you've even met them. As soon as you meet, you're connected. And I always say it's kind of fun because everybody in the Survivor community who's been on the show has had a background check and they've been vetted. And so okay, they're not insane.
Yeah.
So this is nice. Well, at least they shouldn't be. Yeah, some of them made it past, but
there's some seasons where I'm like, this person maybe shouldn't have came on. But sometimes it works out too, because I thought that with Tony Vlachos back in Cagayan, and he turned out to be okay.
He's great, so funny.
But anywho, I know you said you've been liking this season so far, but is there anything big or anything that you haven't been able to really like talk about with anyone that's happened across the last 8 episodes so far? Just anything big or small, like whether it was like, Jason being the puzzle god that no one ever talked about and still doesn't talk about.
Yeah, he was so sweet. I hated to see him go. I think one of my favorite there's 2 favorite arcs of mine. Well, 3. I would say Sage, for one thing, when she started out and was like talking about like collecting blackheads. I thought, like, how did she make it through this? Like, the psychological, for a second, I was like, what? And I didn't think I was going to connect with her. I mean, I liked her because she was authentic. I always loved that. But I really connect with her now. I feel like what I love about her is she's so good at playing the game and then being super real in her confessionals. Like, I feel like we get to see a side of her that the players aren't getting to see. And I love when they do that. I love when they can be so 2 different, distinct people that both seem genuinely authentic. So she is crushing it. I love her. And I got to talk with her a little bit this week. I saw her, I talked about her on the Rob Has a Podcast. I was like, was she the one who was like collecting her blackheads? And, and so she thanked me. She's like, thanks for the shout out. And so, I can't wait to meet her. She's going to be fun. Another one is, I love Steven. I don't know what it is about Steven. I feel like he's a sleeper. Like I think something's going to happen. I don't know. I feel really good about him. I think he's fun. He's fun to watch. Jawan is fun to watch with his strategy. But I think the biggest transition, I think so far that I've seen is Savannah. And it was on this past show. And it literally had me in tears because I kind of had a similar experience before, being in media and in radio and stuff where, people don't like you. They just don't talk to you. It's like when the on-air button is pushed, all of a sudden the wall comes down. But then when the on-air button, when it's on, all of a sudden they're your best friend. And it's so disorienting and it's so difficult. So watching her finally, I don't know. It's like the first time I saw her vulnerability and I really liked it because that to me, Survivor is about people and how they're like, she is going with it. She's like, this brought up some crap that I need to deal with. And I didn't even know I was still hurting. And I think everybody watching, you guys included, probably really related to that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Survivor does. I mean, it strips you of everything until all that's left is the authentic you, and you can't hide it, even if you want to. Like if you are truly, a hurting person underneath, even if you don't realize it, when you're stripped of everything, it just kind of rises to the surface. So good for her.
So especially a character who's as, I want to say antagonistic, but I don't mean that negatively.
No, I get it.
Because Savannah is a very, very strong character, very villainous, or new era coded villain. Because obviously, I look at Savannah and that's cupcakes compared to Russell Hantz. But no, I did feel for Savannah, especially because Josh is known for icing me out.
Oh gosh,
get out of our lives every time.
That is so mean.
But no, the biggest thing I like too about Survivor, something I never really am able to bring up on these podcasts because we focus on like the way the show is edited. It's very weird to describe, but it's the complex characters who are very vulnerable. I think Sage and Savannah are both prime examples of two characters with clear, distinguishable flaws, right? I think Sage has points, but also Sage isn't the biggest victim, as we even saw from this episode. And same with Savannah not being the most socially aware at points. And we saw that with how she went about her relationships with Jawan and Sage. And there's a little bit more, and it makes them feel like actual real human beings and not like TV props.
Characters. I love the way Savannah opened up. I think really it kind of let us all in to a more I love when you can see more than just one dimension of a character. And she, was showing us what a badass she was for the first, 7 episodes. And then episode 8, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you're not just a badass. You're also really genuinely a human being with feelings. And I wonder, the way that she relates to people and in the game, I don't think she's like that, like outside of the game, but I love the way that she's really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like she's not afraid to make people, she'll just sit there and look at you. And you're just like, what? Stop, you just wait until you start talking. And I am absolutely enthralled by people like that. I think that's amazing.
Oh yeah. Or when MC found the idol and looking for the key, and Savannah, without knowing what it meant, just try to lunge after it and take it away from MC.
Yeah, I had a flashback to China when Ashley threw me down in the mud. I was like, oh my gosh, like here's another wrestling scene that we get to watch. It was hilarious. Yeah.
That reminds me, I've always wanted to know what is the Survivor community's take on those rough physical challenges? Do you want them to come back? Are you a fan having to go through it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, China was hilarious. It's funny because, back then I was like super, Christian. I mean, not that I'm not a Christian. I am now. It looks a lot different. And I'm not religious at all, even though I thought I wasn't then, but that's a whole nother podcast. But I just remember being so excited to finally be on this show. But then I got on and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Survivor gone wild. We're like ripping each other's clothes off. Everybody's losing their pants. I mean, I was just like, I can't let my kids see that, so that was always in the back of my mind. But like now that my kids are grown and I've grown a lot, I wouldn't care. I think I say bring on the mud, bring on the mess, bring on the wrestling. It's so fun to watch, and it's
I
so
honestly feel like that's a really good point too, because we haven't really seen a lot of really physical challenges. I would love to see them bring back idle hands or like sumo at sea, something like where you're gonna have to go one-on-one against somebody.
Yes.
I think if we saw that for 48 last season, I would have loved to see Joe and David go head to head.
Yeah. I loved seeing
what I'm
somebody
saying.
posted something about like how this is the first time that the reward challenge was done like without being muddy, this season, whatever, when the merge feast or whatever. It was the first time in a long time that they weren't like dripping with mud as they tried to eat food. So I thought that was funny. I'm like, that's true,
Because they're also not allowed to wash off the mud as well. I've heard from a lot of people. Was that true in China as well? Where there, I can't remember if there was like a lot of like truly muddy.
Oh, yeah.
They just did.
The second immunity challenge was, I think it was immunity, or maybe it was reward. We were in mud and they like dropped these huge balls and we had to like roll them. Remember, that's where Ashley threw me up, tossed me in the mud. Side note, that mud smelled like manure. So I'm pretty sure we were kind of rolling around in manure at that time. But yeah, it was intense. It was really intense. And I was like, I had to play because they had sat me out the one before. I was like, dang it, I'm going to get killed. But I did good. I mean, considering I was really sick, I think, I tackled Dave and dragged him across the mud. And, it was fun. It was fun.
If nothing else, at least you got to tackle Dave.
Yeah,
that's more than me and Josh could ever say.
Well, if you'd ever meet him, you'd want to do that. So no, just kidding. He's like my annoying little brother after we got voted out, and we kind of like went all over China. Like he was so annoying. I love him. It's in like an endearing way, but
I was going to ask. It sounds more endearing than just straight annoying.
Yeah, but I did. I sent a note to Mark Burnett after the show. I said, "Man, if you would have had a camera on us, like while we were, traveling around China after we all got voted out, you would have seen a completely different Sister Christian." I was so irritated with him like all the time. I was like, just go away. And I thought, man, if they would have caught that on camera, that would have been gold. So
I do wish we could see a little of the pre-jury Ponderosa. I feel like there's a lot of stories you just hear.
Didn't they do that like initially?
They did for a while.
Ponderosa.
It was after our season. After our season, they started doing it. I was like, dang, you would have gotten some tea if you would have been there on ours. Yeah.
They should definitely bring that back.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's like a whole different vibe. It's like you get to see the people for who they really are, not for the character they're trying to play for the game.
Oh yeah. And it's like the closest thing we would ever get to like Survivor live feeds, because especially nowadays, you can always tell when someone's trying to ham fist something for the cameras. They're trying to like make it sound good, and they're trying to get sound bites and sound clips.
Yep.
And there's some people who do it a little more. That's all I'm going to say about that.
And some people are better at it than others. Yeah. I remember when we were in China, John Robert kept complaining, because I was pretty active in the first 3 episodes. They had me, I mean, I was kidnapped. I was given the clue, like there was a lot of action with me. So they kept pulling me over for side twos, for conversations. And John Robert finally, he goes, all right, you're calling her again. He's like, guys, Leslie's winning Survivor. We got to get her out of here. Like, I was like, I'm sorry. Like he didn't know all this stuff was happening behind the scenes, but it kind of made him realize, wait, something's happening with her. And he liked being in front of the camera. So he got mad when other people were. It was funny.
Well, isn't that the same guy who was like asleep half the time? And that is wild. I didn't know about that. Because it is kind of known in the Survivor world where if you pay attention to like what the producers say, it could hurt. But I didn't realize it was like that where people were just calling it out.
He called me out, and I was like, dude, they're asking me questions, I mean,
yeah.
I love to talk. I'm a narrator. I'm on the radio. Like I tell a good story. That's why I got on the show. I'm certain of it. And so
Mhm.
they
Oh,
were
yeah.
going to use what they put me on the show for as much as they could because they knew my days were numbered. They were like, she's not going to be here long, so let's give her as much as we can. So
And all the confessionals.
yes, let's get her in there as much as we can.
No. But anywho, I think it's time to start with the rank downs.
Let's do it.
We are going to start with, however, very unfortunately, we are starting with MC, who got voted out last night in 10th place. And I normally, because we have a guest, I'd always want to start with the guest. But MC was Josh's favorite Survivor player, I think, of all time. Josh
not all
was
time.
hurting really,
All
really
time,
bad.
Josh, really?
No, not all time. I spoke very highly of MC this entire season because I kept making the claim that MC was going to be the one to beat. I thought she was physically dominant in every single challenge. She had survived so many things, finding an idol. They showed her so much throughout. But right now, I think this is probably going to be the biggest blindside of the season because I don't see where those dynamics go for Hina moving forward. I think the only person that this benefits is Steven because it opens the game up for him a little bit more and it cuts off his tie with MC. But I saw MC as somebody who was going to win a lot of challenges, and to be cut like that, I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming.
Bummer. She was trying to gain trust and actually lost it. You know what I mean? That's the sucky part. I think it was a good move to, try to share information, but, it bit her in the butt. So that's too bad because she really was great to watch. I mean, she's gorgeous and she's strong and she's sharp. And, she'd be a great Alliance member. So I'm kind of sad. But.
Oh, yeah. I feel like MC just, I don't know. I think her overall story was that she was always the second in command with Steven. I think she needed that rock in Steven.
Yeah.
I think, and when I mean second in command, Josh, I saw your reaction.
Yeah, I don't see Steven as the one who was really doing anything because I see that Steven had maybe the better social game.
Yeah.
And had maybe
he's so likable.
He's likable. But to me, that doesn't mean he has influence. And influence is you can be as likable as you want, but you could be like as social and as likable like Suri. But does Suri have influence? At a certain point, yes, but not toward the end of the game. And I don't think that Steven had that social capital. I don't think MC had it either. She had leverage with the idol, but the idol was pretty much flushed. And now it seems that MC really could have used that today.
Yeah. Unfortunate that she used it last time. I was like, no.
I know.
But yeah, I don't even blame MC about playing the idol either. Because if I was MC and my idol got ratted out in a ridiculous way, like it was when Savannah found it, like there is nothing you could do to counter that because you know that your idol is significantly worse than Rizzo's idol at that point. Because Rizzo's idol being public kind of helps him in some regards because we see it this time where everyone's too afraid to vote him time and time again. And I think MC needed to play with being a big threat and not trying to, be under the radar and sneaky. Okay. I wish MC was more of just like, I'm a big threat. You need to keep me for that reason.
So you thought maybe MC should have publicized the fact that she did have an idol because only a few people know. I would be under the assumption that Savannah is the type of player who would run and tell her alliance. So now Rizzo, Soph, possibly if Soph runs to Alex, that could be a different thing. So I mean, do you think that maybe she should have publicized and said, "Hey, I got an idol. I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to let everyone know."
I kind of think that she should have potentially, flashed it at Tribal Council. I think making one big stand saying, like, I have the idol. I am not going home. I would see Rizzo doing that last Tribal, the one before this episode, and I would do the same. I'd be like, here you go. I got my idol as well. You can't vote me out. And then they still vote out Nate regardless. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're at Final 10 now with 2 idols. but that would have sent Sophie home, probably, which would have been rough.
Yeah,
I didn't want to see that happen either. You know, I really like Sophie. I think she's playing hard.
I think she's playing hard, but where do you think Sophie really like ends up? Because I know she's pleading her allegiance, but Savannah also knows that everybody on the other side is expecting her to go. I don't know where that really puts Savannah, because Savannah had that information and those people know that they talked about it with her. So if she went over to that other tribal, they see Sophie still there. I think someone's going to catch on.
Yeah.
It has to be,
No,
right?
It's unfortunate, I think, that none of these tribes, except one, went to tribal council for so long, because now they don't know how to not vote in tribe lines. They're not thinking beyond that. They don't know how, because they've never been challenged. So like seeing, even last week, I remember seeing people light their torch for the first time, and I was like, holy crap, we're like halfway through the great game and you're just now lighting your, like, it, to me, it's kind of unfortunate, you know. Oh, and somebody asked which Sophie. I'm talking about Sophie, not Soph. I don't know how we say it now, but I love Soph though. Soph is hilarious. Oh my gosh. But she has played the most difficult game of everyone and has been to tribal council a million times. So I feel like she has a leg up in that for that reason.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, so Soph is an underdog. I think saying like it's a popular opinion to root for Soph, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how most Survivor fans are watching 49 in particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think MC had the right, I think MC had all the makings to be a really good Survivor player. I honestly think that it's very luck dependent. I think MC kind of got a little screwed with the twist. I don't think she did herself any favors. I do think she overplayed a tiny bit. Especially when margins are that small, it's better to just say nothing when you're not the name getting thrown out until people are like, hey, what about MC? Then maybe throw Sophie under the bus or Jawan or whomever.
Yeah.
But coming up next on our rankings, the person who is in dead last at number 9 is Yellow Tribe Sophie. It's not switching over?
There
Nope,
it is. It's there. Whoop. Are we there? Did we lose Will?
Are you there?
I'm pretty sure I'm here.
Okay.
I can hear, but I can't see anything.
Well, it's not there anymore, but it was.
I think he's buffering a little bit.
Yeah, I think he is. Hi, Will. You back?
It's freezing on an interesting
All right, Josh, we're gonna have to have a conversation.
I don't.
There she is.
It's not letting me.
Oh, well.
Interesting.
We know who she is.
Is it there?
So, there it is.
Now it is.
Can I talk about how cute her top is?
I don't see it.
I know they don't. I know Survivor players don't get to pick out their outfits anymore, but I mean, I would assume that Sophie's got to be freezing if she's wearing that at some point of the day. It's got to be pretty cold out in Fiji at night.
Yeah, they don't get to pick anymore. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I thought. I mean, I might be wrong, but I was under the assumption that they do get, and they select those options. They send it to the casting costume department, and they select which of the.
So you choose it. Yeah, that's what we did season 15. We just had to send 3 different looks, and they picked the one. And I knew they were going to pick the one for me because it looked like a Sunday school teacher. I was like, this is the one I'm going to wear. I'm sure.
So the one thing that you should never give as an option for what you wear out on the island is jeans. Is that true?
Yes. Jeans and please, like I think about John Robert every time I think about poor choices in wardrobe. He had a silk shirt, blue jeans, no underwear. So he was chafed 24/7, and he had Louis Vuitton shoes. And I was just like, who is this guy? What the hell? What is he doing?
Did they tell you were doing a photo op beforehand?
They said it was press clothes. So you were going to be going for a press interview, but I knew, and Todd knew, you know, all the super fans, we knew. We were like, oh.
They did that on Pearl Islands. I mean, they did do it on Pearl Islands.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. I also know like some of the more iconic pieces of clothing people didn't choose. Like Cochran's red vest it was all production. Same with more. But I do apologize about my internet dying for a moment.
It's all right. It
But
happens.
still,
I have to
it
be
happens
honest, though.
way more than I like to admit. It happens only when we have guests. So I don't know what that means. But Sophie being in dead last is very heartbreaking, I think, because it is not indicative of her as a player or how she's navigating the game. The sentiment from me and Josh is that she just hasn't gotten any screen time. And this was like the first episode she's starting to get something, but we're trying to determine who the winner is. And you can just tell that Sophie's not winning the game because of the edit she's gotten so far.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know, because like I feel like a lot of times if you're the winner, they know you're going to be there a lot in the end. So they kind of show people who really aren't, like for me, for instance, the first 3 episodes, you see me like crazy. A lot of people thought this means she's going to go far. No, it didn't. It meant I was about to leave and they were trying to, wring as much as they could out of me before I left. But like with Sophie, it's funny that you said that she hasn't had much camera time, because 2 weeks ago when I was watching the episode, I literally looked at my daughter. I go, who's that? I don't even like, another Sophie? What is happening? Where did she come from? I feel like they've like dropped her in there and I didn't even notice. It was weird. But now that I've noticed her, I'm like, okay, she's really smart. I mean, I think she's playing a pretty good game. I think it's going to be tough. But
oh yeah. And what do you think? We have a comment from Gemini, some of our lovely chatters that I've kind of been ignoring. I do apologize, our lovely viewers. But what do you think about her argument of I'm a big threat, so use that to your advantage? Which is kind of what we talked about with MC, of understanding your threat level and using that as a benefit to why to keep you in the game, as opposed to just voting out the big threats right then and there.
I think it's really dangerous to admit that you're a threat, no matter what. I don't think that's a smart move. I don't think it's a smart move ever, because you're not even really sure. We all think we're a threat. I mean, we all go on that show thinking, I am going to freaking win this whole thing. I am amazing. I can do this. We are all type A. We are all incredibly, like, we know what we're up to. And then, for somebody to go, yeah, I'm a big threat. That's why. I think that's a really dangerous move, because as soon as you say it, then that's a reason to vote you out.
So I ranked my top 3 last week because we saw the 3 that were on the bottom at the start of the episode. So that's why I put Sophie this high. But something that hasn't really sat right with me is every single time we see Sophie and she's discussing a vote, she's always telling everybody in a group of people, we're going to do this. We're going to vote this person out because we have to. Yeah. And she's done it twice now. She did it when Nate was on the bottom of that 4-person tribe that they did. And she did it again with this. It feels like, just from what we're being seen, I don't feel like it's really a choice when it comes to Sophie. I feel like we have to stay tribe strong, but I feel like I would be, from what I've seen on the show so far, it seems like I would have to be following Sophie's game. So I don't know if maybe they're trying to pin her out to be a big threat. Maybe she is somebody that is quite hard to take out later down the line. But
she's good at challenges. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
Right? And that's big, but like they can figure that out. I think that what she needs to do, instead of saying I'm a big threat, is say, oh no, I just got lucky. She's got to downplay that and say, oh, well, I just am really good at that kind of thing, or whatever. You can't keep bringing it to the surface, because people are going to keep that in their head.
I do wonder though. I wonder if that's kind of Sophie trying to appease the jury in a way. I think that Sophie understands that she was on the bottom of the hyenas and was kind of lucky to never have gone to tribal council. This was her first time being vulnerable during a vote. Yeah. It's very, and so a lot of people could discredit her game early on by just saying you were able to coast through the game, because her first vote and first time being immune, it was a failed Rizzo vote plan.
Right.
That she had to jump course correct anyways. And so I wonder if she's thinking about, the jury and her story and whether or not she wants to paint herself as an overdog or an underdog. And so I think there's some of that feeling and that philosophy going into it of wanting to sell your game and trying to make it better than either what it is or what it is compared to everyone else. Because I don't want to bash people's games because I'm just some guy in my room.
Yeah.
But but I think her game isn't going to be viewed as strong as other Soph, right? Blue Sophie. I'm not calling her Soph. No, low key.
Blue Sophie. Okay, we'll do it.
But and so it's unfortunate having Sophie in dead last because she's been in dead last the entire season, and I still don't think that of like the more surprising winner picks that people have had so far, I think Sophie's just a little too invisible even still to be the winner, unfortunately.
Well, that's fair. I see that.
Thank you. That's way too polite because if that was Josh, like me and Josh, I just rip on him all the time. Josh will make an opinion. I'm like, Josh, what? I make fun of him.
I like thinking of some crazy theories. I like throwing things at the dartboard because anything can happen in a game of Survivor. It changes like every second. Every second, like it changes. So I mean, that's the great thing about the game is that I feel like if you can find a way to dig your way out of it, if you can find something to just keep you around, I mean, that is the definition of the game itself. Is survive,
outwit.
There you go.
Outwit. I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, she's still there. She made Prairie. She did better than I did. So
I think but what I will say, Leslie, and I think you make a great point. Don't show your threat level to anybody, or with Sophie in particular. A move like that only buys you 1 to 2 votes.
Yeah.
Only 1 to 2. It doesn't they're not going to keep you around till 5. So what I would like to see is, can Sophie recover? Can she get back to the others and establish a solidified alliance? She needs to get with Steven. She needs to get with Christina. She needs to link herself in. Who else is there from Hina? Am I forgetting anyone?
Just Christina and Steven.
That's
at this
it.
point.
They're at 3 now. Yeah. So now it's time, because I think at this point with MC gone, it really leaves Alex in a spot where he can say, where do we go? I think Alex would truly be in the middle at this point. It's Alex in a
Can we just talk about Alex for a second? Love him. Yeah. I know we'll get to him, but I love him. He's great.
Alex is in a little bit, but I can switch it over real quick if you just wanted to give a little opinion real quick about Alex. He's our number 5.
I absolutely love him. I love his personality. I love his gameplay. He's strategic. He's great socially. Literally, if he makes it to the end, he'll win. I mean, I just believe that with all my heart.
Yeah.
Will he make it to the end? I don't know. Like you said, he's kind of in the middle, but if he chooses the right side, I think he could.
I don't think anyone's looking at him. I think, honestly, no one's going to look at him, because you're going to have the old Hina saying, hey, you were with us. Like, come on, let's do it. I feel like Alex, he would not flip on Steven. If he was, it would be Christina with the idol. He knows. I feel like at some point he's going to tell Blue Sophie that, and that's going to be the situation where she's like, well, I don't have any connection to Christina. I could take that idol right now and we can still have the numbers. So I see that path coming for Alex. But what is Alex's best game? Does he stick with the people that he's already made those alliances and kind of jump on to Blue Sophie's game? Or is he going to play his own game and say, listen, I'm not coming against you, Sophie, but I got to play my own game and I got to try and win too.
Oh,
man. I'd love to see them stick together. I just love them. I think they've been through hell together, and they've trauma bonded, guys. And like, you cannot beat that. Like, that is the best kind of bond, because it just doesn't, nothing can shake it. So I feel like if they could stick together, they know they can trust each other. I think they could really go far together. But like you said, there is also this whole, like, does he play his own game? And,
I think that's going to be the key, though. That's the key. Does Alex play his own game? If he plays his own game, I think he gives himself the best chance, but he also doesn't know what he's going up against. And that's another thing. He doesn't know about the knowledge is power. He doesn't know about the extra vote.
So Jay just said, if we're on Alex's analysis, I'll say that I don't like how he made the idol search a group search. I fully agree with you. I was like, what the hell are you doing? No, you don't know these people. You can't trust these people. Like, find the idol by yourself. And then, now Christina's got it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even though he knows where it's at, you still gave the enemy an idol. Like, she still has that firepower, and the pressure is now on Alex to play to the idol.
Yeah.
So I do agree.
I made that decision to share the clue with Todd, and it cost me my game. You know what I mean? Like, you got to hold that close to you. If you want to use it once you find it to, connect with somebody and make an alliance or build trust, that's different. But to go and look for it together, it doesn't usually work out very well.
Especially at Final 10, it's one thing if it's very early on and you're trying to solidify trust with one person. I get MC doing it and sharing it with Steven. I think that works. I think that's fair gameplay. But Final 10, you don't need to build more trust with the people.
But they don't know how to play for themselves yet. They have only been in these tribes that have never been to tribal, and so they're still in that mindset. And I would love to see somebody go, screw that, this is my game. I want to figure out who works for my game instead of I've got to be loyal to these people, because I guarantee you they're probably not going to be loyal to you. You have to get out of that. This is a one person game now, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of one person gameplay.
Oh yeah. I'm going to go back to the ranking because I think there's a perfect transition of people playing their own game with the person we have at number 8. Though I'm very disappointed in you, Josh, because I don't know why you have someone else high, but we'll get to that person.
Okay.
But we have Jawan, who's our number 8. I love Jawan. I think he is playing a really interesting game, and his gameplay feels very human to me. I actually feel like he is a real person who's playing, and he's not playing a character. Jawan is Jawan out there.
Yeah.
I do think though his edit overall has just been a little too negative. I think he will say things in confessionals that don't pan out, and for that I think the editors are giving him more of a incomplete story. You just notice every episode now he's talking about wanting to take that shot at Rizzo and Savannah. He's saying Savannah is evil, Savannah needs to go, Savannah is scary, Rizzo is scary, they need to go 100%. And all of a sudden, bam, end of the episode, MC is gone. And I understand why and everything that happened in between, but I'm very concerned about the editor showing some parts of his confessionals and not the others. I really wish we saw him going, MC's overplaying, I need to jump ship. Instead is just him saying, I want Rizzo gone, and then they go to tribal. And that's Jawan's personal story. And for that reason, I have him at number 7 overall.
Yeah, he's very reactive. He's good at adapting his game, which I really like. It doesn't seem like there's a solid strategy, though. I feel like every time we see Jawan, he's figuring out what the next move will be instead of thinking ahead. So maybe he's a little ADD like me. And when it's okay, I'm going to react to this that's right in front of me without really thinking about, the future. But it's really entertaining, and he's so fun to watch. I love it. He's having fun out there, and I love to see them have fun.
The biggest problem that I have with Jawan's game is that I feel like he's playing with too much heart. He's playing with it's just, for me, I just don't understand where he's going, where he wants to align with, because we get it. He's kind of tied to stage at this point, but I don't see anything else beyond that. All I've seen is that if someone says that his name is out there, he's going to go against that. I know that he made a move against Shannon, which was a little confusing in that situation, but I understand why he did it. And then again, he's in the situation where he is voting out someone who's giving him information. I feel like Jawan is just making some moves that aren't really best for his game. And for me, I mean, if there's any other opinions on this, I don't know where Jawan stands.
Well, I
And
thought me and Sage were good, and she was ready to just like get rid of him today. Like it was.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't understand Jawan or Sage's gameplay. Both
Yeah.
of them are kind of playing a similar game where they say that they're frustrated with people on their original tribe, but where is their head at? Who do they want to vote out? Like, they're not explaining that at all, and it makes it really confusing as a viewer to kind of follow and understand what their next move is.
Yeah.
And I think Savannah and Blue Sophie and Rizzo, those are better narrators for the story and what their gameplay is, what I need to do. Rizzo did it really well. He said, I'm going to go to everybody. I'm going to tell them we need to vote out MC. I'm going to find a way. And I feel like he did that. And I'm sure Savannah had the help. And helped with that as well. But Jawan, if you told me right now who they want to vote out next besides Savannah, if Savannah was saved, where would they go? I'd have no clue. I'd have no clue where their allegiances are.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think I understand Jawan's gameplay. I understand where his head's at. I don't think Jawan and Sage understand their positions either. I think Jawan right now is in the most powerful position, either him or Alex, really. I think Jawan broke that seal of jumping ship, and so he has options. I think he can either stick with his original tribe, and I think they would trust him because he just worked with them to vote out MC this tribe, and I don't think Jawan is blameless, or I think Jawan is blameless for voting out Nate in the first merge tribal, right?
Yeah.
Because of the dynamics there. And so someone like him has a way more leeway than Rizzo, because Rizzo is kind of locked and tied to being with Savannah no matter what, because no one's going to trust Rizzo anyways if Rizzo's like, oh, me and Savannah aren't tight regardless. And so I just think it's too emotional and not game focused at the moment.
Yeah, it is. He's leading with his heart, which is probably why I like him so much, because that was me. That was my big fatal flaw on Survivor.
Yeah. Well, plus I like messier characters and players anyways. If everyone played optimally, then the season would be boring.
Right, exactly. We all make mistakes. I mean, they talked about it on the show this week. We're all going to make mistakes, but you got to learn from it
and make it entertaining enough for TV. Making mistakes great.
Yes, exactly. We kind of like mistakes.
Anywho, moving along, unless there's anything more to say about Jawan. And honestly, if there's something y'all want to say about anyone, like, it's very, we have the structure, but we're very fluid here.
Okay.
And Josh has Christina at number 6.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. I think that is very questionable. No offense to you, Josh.
I with an idol, you can't be low. Anything can happen, and at this current point, Christina is higher because we don't know if Alex flips. We don't know if he gives up that information at this point, and Christina still has power. So I have to play to that with my rankings. If you get an idol, you're going up. That's going to save you. That could be used as leverage. Hell, Christina could find out that there's a knowledge is power, and she could still give that idol to Steven and say, hey, if they use it on me, you have the idol now. Give it back to me after. Anything can happen right now. We just don't have anything set in stone. So, Christina, I think she earned her spot. And plus, nobody's talking about Christina's vote.
That was my point.
Why not move her up? Like, I know Christina is somebody who I thought would be, I mean, maybe not last week because I ranked her 4th, but the weeks prior, like, Christina was somebody who was very low because I didn't know where she really stood. But at this point, I think you're so far in the game with 9 people that there are bigger threats to go after. And I don't think people are going to look at Christina now because you still have Sophie, you have Savannah out there. There's so many other options that you could go with. And I think there are people who will protect Christina.
She kind of reminds me, not physically or anything, but the gameplay is kind of like Denise. Like, I can see her getting to the final 4, but like being the 4th one out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they would get rid of her pretty quick just because she's not super challenge threat, She's really nice. Everybody likes her. She's hilarious. And there's a lot of growth, I think, in the show that they're showing, which tells me she makes it pretty far. But like the fact that nobody has mentioned her at all is, I think, pretty freaking impressive. I say go girl. That's amazing.
But that also could be another situation where, she gets to the end, nobody's thrown her name down, Christina's good with everyone, could be looking at a Final 5, Final 4 boot right here.
Yeah, for sure.
Christina's probably, actually, I know we don't really talk about it a lot because we don't see much of Christina in confessionals, but Christina could be up there with Steven for having the best social game so far. Having so many people who don't complain about you, who like you, who want to potentially work with you. I think those two are two Goliaths of social games this season in particular.
I don't know if Christina's playing that good of a game. I think Christina right now is safe. I think she is good with everyone. I think it's kind of like Denise, where she's not very proactive in her game. I want to see someone who is at least trying to take more social advantages, someone who's at least trying to make more conversations or integrate herself into the dynamics, because to me, Christina's kind of a sitting duck right now. And I think that's part of why no one's been saying her name, which is still impressive because still no one is saying her name, regardless of how you get there. The reason why I have Christina very low and I'm very negative about my feelings towards her is because I think she's done even worse by the edit than Sophie. I think Christina found an idol and she didn't really get a big moment about it. It was mainly narrated by Alex. She finds the idol and we get a minute-long confessional from Alex saying, "Ooh, what can he do with the idol? Not what can Christina do?" And Jay, I don't think this is a crackpot theory. I think this is what's going to happen.
I think it's legit.
Yeah, I was about to mention it.
But here's the thing. Let's put in your position, Leslie, since you have played the game before. If you're in Sophie's position, do you use the knowledge as power, take the idol, but leave Christina on the island? Or do you take it and you have to vote her out that same night?
I would take it and leave her just because she's not like a big challenge or strategic threat. She's socially a threat, but you try to look at the biggest threats that you want out. I would try to get out a bigger name, one that kind of stands out more. But I definitely think she needs to take it, and that's one of the big drawbacks of finding an idol in a group of people. You can't keep it, you can't hold it close to your vest. And so now people who she doesn't want knowing are going to know about this, and it's not going to be a secret. So that's a bummer.
Though I am kind of excited to see it happen, because I think you kind of notice trends in Survivor where one player will find success with one strategy and people will try to replicate it and clone it, right? Like Russell Hantz found success in Samoa, 20 people in the next 30 seasons all trying to look for idols very early on and getting caught and getting voted out. Sorry about that. And so I think that what's going to happen is Sophie's going to steal Christina's idol. And I think going forward, people are going to be way more cautious about sharing whether or not they have an idol, because they will reference Christina and Christina, losing her idol, kind of like after 46, when there was a lot of confessionals referencing getting voted out with an idol in your pocket. Something we saw in Survivor 48, I want to say, or 47. I can't remember which one had the callback. But I don't know. I think Christina still doesn't have a defined story. And so I think she can make it very far, maybe even Final 5, Final 4, and have more of a interpersonal story that she shares. And maybe that is her impact on Survivor 49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun to watch, though. I can't wait to see where she goes with it.
Honestly, I'm very surprised with how much I've been enjoying the last few episodes and how much I actually really like this merge cast.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't very high on the season at first when it was just the tribes, because it just felt very familiar. Another losing tribe one tribe getting shafted, the clear alliance with outsiders. And it felt just like Survivor 48 Redux, 45 all over again, even 44 to an extent.
Mhm.
And I'm excited to see all the players, including even the players like Christina and Sophie, who, don't get a lot of love from the editors, sadly.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're gonna move right along to Sage, who is our number 6 overall. Kind of in a weird spot because Sage, I don't think is going to break mine or Josh's top 5. I think Sage just has too wonky of an edit. It's too emotionally charged, and it's way too much in some points. And so for that reason, I don't think Sage is winning. However, what we can talk about, and the enjoyment and the great part about Sage as a character is that once you accept that, there's a lot to talk about with Sage and how she's playing very, very hard. Even if it's sloppy at points, even if I do think she's unaware at points. She kind of reminds me of Sheila from Big Brother 9 as a little throwback, if y'all, for the viewers in the comment section. But where do y'all think of Sage as a player so far?
I'll let you start, Leslie. I feel like I've talked about Sage a little bit. It's just I don't feel like I really know where her game is. And I know that she's going to go against her original tribe members, but ultimately, I think even if she did have the chance to vote out Blue Sophie, to vote out Rizzo, and to vote out Savannah, she's going to be the next to go. I think she's on the bottom of every position she's in, and I just don't see a way to crawl up unless Sage finds a future merge idol or finds some sort of advantage or goes on an immunity run. I have a hard time seeing it with this edit.
Yeah, it is tough because I don't feel like she's super loyal to anybody. And I think that can be really dangerous because you're disposable at that point. I think what we need to see from Sage is we need to see her win some challenges. We need to show, we need her to show us that she's fighting for this, not to try to make it to the next tribal, but to win. I do feel like she's kind of just almost like Jawan, a little reactive instead of proactive in her strategy, which is a very, that's a dangerous way to play it. But I will say, as a human being, I'm loving seeing her on the show because I feel like she's kind of what Survivor has been missing for a long time. And that is that snarky, eye rolling, giving us the truth while pretending to be something else. Like, that's so funny to me. I think it's hilarious. And I'm very entertained and intrigued by Sage as a human being. But as a player, I think there needs to be some winning happening. I think she's got to, maybe go on a reward challenge and form some bonds that are unbreakable. She's got to figure out how to find a way to get some people that she can be super loyal to and, hide behind that a little bit.
I almost think, do we see Sage as possibly being a losing finalist? Because
no.
That's what I'm trying to figure out is Sage's trajectory. I don't know if she gets voted out because people think she's a big threat, or if she's trying to make a move that backfires, or if she makes it to the very end and has a pretty good story of being the outsider and being able to rise your way into the fold. But also Sage never had true power in the game and is very similar to Carolyn in that regard as well, not just by personality. I know Sage has been compared to Carolyn the entire time she's been on the season, but almost in a way where Sage is giving the ideas, but no one's ever listening. And, it comes to a point where Sage just runs out of time and gets nothing done outside of just surviving. But
I don't know. We'll see. At least I'm enjoying watching her.
Yeah.
I think she's just a really entertaining human. And hopefully she'll get a win next week. She just needs to sort of solidify herself as a competitor at this point.
Yeah. She needs to get in good with someone. Honestly, Sage should get in good with Christina.
Yeah.
Shannon was able to do it. I think Sage could do it. That way she gets some of the outsiders and is able to finally take those shots at Savannah and Rizzo, because I know Sage wants to.
Yeah.
And we also have a comment from Jay. Sage has the right ideas, but keeps getting shafted because the others want to play a more safe game.
Mm.
And that is kind of the problem with Sage. But also, if you're not able to get people to vote how you want them to vote, then that's kind of the crux of the strategic game.
True.
But it does suck watching Sage kind of flounder at points, because I'm rooting for that big win, that triumphant moment where Sage, either votes out Savannah or gets that
She needs a big
challenge
move.
win.
She needs a big move, because it's
Something
very middle of the road, kind of just like, oh, she's here, but like, who is she in the game? She needs to start winning.
Yeah. Anywho, moving along, we also have Alex again, sitting snug in our top 5. I don't really have much more to add about Alex.
Yeah.
I can
Only
keep
thing-
just a simple statement with it too, Will. If you want to say your thing, I'll say mine.
I was just going to say, I think Alex, the only problem I see right now is I think Survivor is too afraid to show more of him. I think that if he is the winner, which I do see with Alex, I think they're just trying to hide him, because obviously he'd be a bigger name with being heavy in the idol searches and advantage searches, being on the losing tribe. And he's already a big name, but what's actually going on the show is that he's getting kind of shafted. He only got like 2 confessionals, and it's mainly just him being like, I feel good with everyone, I have connections everywhere, and it's working out. But it's just, it's like he's on pause right now. Like, we're kind of focused on everyone else, and Alex is just right now doing his own thing, playing under the radar, and I like that. That's all you need to do sometimes.
So for me, Leslie, what I do with my rankings is usually the person who's right in the middle. That's always the person who I feel like has that opportunity to go either end. I think the biggest question mark right now that's make or break for Alex's game, you're at final 9, you're in the middle of 2 very different alliances, which you could pretty much be brought in. You haven't fully been brought into the Savannah, the Rizzo side, but Soph is still willing to have your back and is still willing to look out for you. So now I think Alex is probably going to lean more towards it, but does Alex make the right decision with this next vote? I think this is crucial for Alex's game, because Alex cannot lose another potential ally for his game, or else it's going to put him probably lower than 5 for me next round. He's got to make the right decision, and he's got to do it for his game, not for anyone else's.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I think the thing that I love about him is that he is an underdog because of the beginning of it. We love an underdog, guys. We love it. But he's an underdog who's also incredibly strategic, very likable. He's strong. He's pretty well rounded. So I think he would be literally my favorite winner for this season. I mean, I would love to see him win, but like you said, Josh, I really do think it really matters what he decides, which direction he goes, and if he can stay loyal to that.
Here's my biggest fear too, that not a lot of people talk about in terms of Stockwatch and rankings earlier on the season. I don't think there is ever a scenario where it is too early to think about the jury, or too early to think about who you could potentially.
Yes, 100%.
Here's the problem with Alex and Soph specifically. They have nobody who can vouch for their games besides each other at that beginning. They don't really have, they losing 4 members they could potentially put on the jury that will vote for them. This is a jury that is heavily colored with red and yellow, and I feel like they have the hardest chance of kind of persuading jury members to vote for them. I think they need to, at this point, Soph and Alex need to show everybody who's still left in the game that they're making moves, that they have influence, and that their game isn't just a pre-merge game, that they've been playing this entire time. And that's what my fear is that if Alex goes to Blue Sophie about this information with Christina, I think that it's going to show as Soph's move, not Alex's. So Alex needs to play his own game and show to this jury that he deserves those votes, that he deserves to win this game. I want to see him win. You're right. I love him. He's a great player.
He would be such a great winner.
Yeah,
Like
he would.
especially his underdog story. We all love that because we've all been the underdog at some point. It's like to see him rise would be fantastic. Him or Sophie,
Yeah.
blue
I
Sophie.
I don't think jury is that hard for Alex either. I
No.
think Uli and Hina are going to be bitter towards one another. Like I don't see I even see Uli being bitter towards one another as well. Like I don't see Savannah voting for Juwan. I don't see Sage voting for Savannah. I don't know how Rizzo's going to be. The only like non-bitter person I could see is Nate. Everyone else, like I'm sure they made the right choices and whatnot. But there's parts of me where I can see you not wanting to vote for this person because they did you wrong in the game.
Yeah.
And I think, Alex's benefit is you kind of understand that early on he has to play hard because he already lost his whole tribe anyways. And so getting burnt by Alex, I think, is easier to handle than getting burnt by an Uli member or your own tribe mate. And so I think that's Alex's benefit as well.
Yeah.
And there's also a comment from Ian saying Alex needs to take out the likes of Rizzo or Savannah so we can
100%. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. If you want Sophie back, you got to get rid of these people that are telling her how great she is.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but it would be great.
Because Sophie and Alex, they weren't really tight anyways early on. They're kind of only together because of circumstance.
Yeah.
If Alex didn't find that idol, it would have been Sophie and Jeremiah. Or if Jake never got injured, it would have been Alex,
Jake,
Sophie, and Jake. And Jake would totally change the dynamics anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's rough to say with Alex, but again, he's just playing under the radar right now. There's not really much going on. He's just a slow burn.
Yeah, agreed.
The problem is Gemini. I know Gemini said a comment. Sophie already said that if she needs to cut Rizzo and Savannah, she will. I think at this point it's unfortunate, but I don't think she can afford that. She needs allies, and I think at this point, Soph needs Rizzo and Savannah to survive, especially with the idol being a shield for her. And now potentially it seemed like in the sneak peek that Savannah possibly tells Soph about the extra vote too. So with that information, I think Soph's going to realize this is the side to play on, and I want to be on top. I want the power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'll talk about Sophie, too, when we get to Sophie, just because Sophie is in kind of a league of her own.
Yeah.
And has a more defined story than Alex, despite their similar beginnings. But moving along to number 4, we have Steven, who I'm a little worried about because
he's so adorable. I love him.
Steven feels like an old school player.
He does. I was actually going to say that. That was going to be part of what I wanted to say about him. He reminds me of people who used to play. Like he just like the business suit guy who like the Andrew Savage, but you know what I mean? Like he just reminds me of that. Like he's very likable and flexible, and somehow he got himself in and convinced them to get rid of I forget her name, the Shannon. You know what I mean? Like, that is like great gameplay. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's something about him. I say we need to watch this guy. I think he could really, if he could just start winning, and doing a little bit more of that. But I love his side twos. He's really good about. He is proactive in his strategies. He's not as reactive as some of the others, and I like that.
I think Steven has a very weird edit because it shows us everything but doesn't really tell us anything. I think we're always seeing Steven bond with people, and there's always scenes where Steven is like putting in the social work, but we don't really hear about it. And so something that tells me that there's something more going on. That's why I kind of think Steven can win. I just don't see it happening with what the dynamics are, because right now Steven is in a really, really bad position. He just lost his number 1. Yes, Christina has the idol, but realistically, that idol is very weak when Sophie has the knowledge is power. Rizzo still has his idol. And Alex is wishy-washy, and Sophie is wishy-washy, and no one has a real clear line or loyalty. All Steven has right now is Christina, and I'm very worried. but I still think I think of the chicken scene of him and Alex bonding really well. I think of Steven getting montages of him working with people, and I don't know.
His relationship, I think, with Juwan is kind of cute. I feel like
Yep.
that could actually be something for him. The way he ingratiated himself into him and Sage was, I think, like one of his best moves. I don't even know how and that would be something he could take into that final tribal and really, say, hey, listen, I fought. Look, here's what I did. And
Mhm.
I think I don't know why they're not as close anymore. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's back to those dang tribal lines. Like, why do they
Yeah.
do this? I don't remember a Survivor that was this brutal as far as like we're sticking, tribe, because
Yeah.
even the jury is going to be deciding their winner based on a tribe. I am certain of it. These people are so like, this is my tribe, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that's very fair, but it's also like, like look at the whole picture. Don't just look at your one perspective.
Yeah, and there's a lot of speculation as to why that is. A lot of fans, and I even agree. The problem is that the format is the same regardless. It's always 3 tribes of 6, which is small enough to where you're able to kind of get away with thinking your whole tribe is one big alliance, because it's not big enough where it's going to fail. Like an 8-person alliance will never work.
Yeah.
But you can get away with having a 6-person alliance.
How do
And
you feel about like, what would you like to see it go back to 8 and 8, or do you like the 3 tribes?
I like to. I've always been a big fan of tribes.
Ooh.
I want to see Survivor do bigger numbers on the tribes so that we can see a lot of dynamics play. I would love to see 9-9. Make it 9-9. I want to see all those different dynamics. Or if you're gonna do a 24-player season like you did in 50, throw in
12-12.
throw in 12-12. Do it like Australian Survivor, because I think that there's so much room for those dynamics to change, and we don't see that repetition of just one 4-person alliance dominating 6-person. I think Sarah has put a bad taste in my mouth for that 3rd tribe. If you're going to do a 3rd tribe, I want to see a tribe swap. Make it from 2 tribes to 3.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like in episode 2 or 3. Like,
Yeah.
Don't give it that much time. I just feel like, I miss the tribes, the smaller, not as many tribes. I miss that because having that many people also makes it a lot easier. When you've got 1 and 2 instead of 3, I feel like sometimes the way that the 2 tribes, there's always 2 tribes that are dominant, right? And then the other one kind of dwindles away to nothing. And then we pull for the underdog. It's over and over. But like when you have just 2, I feel like the chances of you winning are a lot higher if you have more people and you can, okay, well, we won't set this person out this time. We'll make sure this person play, you have time to kind of strategize and figure it out. But when you're dwindling away to like 2 or 3 people, it's not fun to watch. It's actually kind of sad.
Because the gameplay just doesn't feel like it matters. And you know why? It's because Survivor found a lot of success with like the Survivor Philippines, right? They want to recreate that Matt Seeing vibe. They want their next Denise Stapley. They want another, rags to riches winner. I think honestly the biggest problem isn't just like what the tribes are, it's just the lack of variance. Because before there was always speculation of, a tribe swap could be here, maybe there's not one, maybe they'll become a 3rd tribe. But when the game is predictable, it becomes way easier to metagame. I think, they should play around with, making the merge later. Maybe make a final 9 merge, and have enough tribe swaps where you can have a 10-person jury start at final 10 and have a final 3 and a merge at 9, right? Just something to change the game in a way that keeps its identity, and you could still have the 3 tribe format, and you could still do 3 tribes of 6 every once in a while, just not for 10 straight seasons, 9 straight seasons. It's not enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, it just gets a little repetitive.
Ooh, I have a transition. speaking of repetitive, you want to talk about RIZGOD Riz God baby? Every episode, every confessional, always talk about Riz God.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of over it. I don't know.
Damn,
I don't know if that's like crackpot or I just
that's your opinion, dog.
I keep saying this. He keeps coming in trying to build up this character, but yet we have not seen Riz God.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna come out, you're gonna make a character for yourself. I want to see those moves in just not playing an idol. It's not really a move to me. It's more like, ooh, I wanted to scare you with my idol, but like everybody is going to be afraid. And this is what I don't like about the new era. I feel like we haven't really seen people who are willing to target the person with the idol. Everyone's so afraid of it now. Everyone wants to play it safe because everyone's strategy is I'm just going to play the idol tonight, and then they just don't do it. I think I would like to see players in Survivor who are willing to stand up and are willing to say, we're going to split the votes tonight because I'm going to vote that person with the idol. And I want to ensure that they play it.
Yeah.
I have not seen that in a very long time. And I want to see it. It feels like it's been years since I've seen somebody who's willing to stand up.
You know why they don't do it? It's because there's not enough tribals to do it. Like this would have been the perfect tribal. Final 10 tribal, there's 10 votes. You know, you could easily split the votes on Rizzo and Savannah, get one of them out. But no, there has to be an advantage or a twist where now it's
and there has to be a separation too.
Now there's 5 people which have, terrible margins of error.
Oh.
Yes, Savannah winning wasn't good anyways and would have killed the plan. But also it's like there could have been more. Maybe they split it on, Rizzo and Juwan. And Juwan goes, and that's still, a notch against Savannah's game. Or whatever. It's just I don't know. I hate the amount of twists that lock and restrict players. I think they need to have more mobility, and they need to be able to do anything they want.
Yeah. I love Rizzo though. I just think he's adorable, and I got to meet him last week at the event, and he's just so adorable. I met his girlfriend. They're so sweet. And so, of course, now I'm like, aw, I love him. I want him to win. As far as how he's playing the game, I think he's so entertaining. He is casting gold, whether we get annoyed or whatever with what he calls himself, none of that matters. He's fun to watch. I mean, you got to admit it. He's fun to watch. The way he did that one challenge, I mean, I guess it was near the beginning, where he was looking at the other guy's puzzle.
Poor Alex.
Oh my gosh. You are so brazen. I love you. It was great. I think it's funny. There's no rules,
Oh, yeah.
Just get it done. Just get your challenge done. So.
No, and you could tell too, he doesn't take himself that seriously, and he's just trying to have fun out there. I can't hate Rizzo for constant Riz gods. Again, that's editor's fault. Maybe they can cut one or two of the confessionals. There's a lot more Rizzo confessionals. Yeah. Maybe he says more than just RIZGOD Riz God baby. Who knows, man?
Yeah, who knows? But he's cute and adorable. I think he'll do really well. I really do.
He's like the little brother archetype.
Yeah,
and that's one we don't see much anymore. And I love it.
And he's smart, he's really smart about, gameplay, social play. He is all of it. Outwit, outlast, outplay. He's all of it. I love him. I think he's so entertaining. Is it annoying that he says Riz God all the time? Yeah, a little bit, but it's also, you're not going to forget him. I mean, he's creating a character, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him again. So. Oh
yeah. Honestly, you need to be a little annoying sometimes to
exactly.
be a good character. Like,
100%.
It's again, I love sloppiness. I love things being a little annoying. I like things being scuffed. And so as much as I want to dunk on Rizzo, that's also the fun of Rizzo is that he is someone you can dunk on and someone to be like, dude.
And he'll laugh with you. He won't get angry. He'll be like, yep, you're right. He's great.
Is he the same person in real life as he is on the show? Because I feel like he's one for one.
So genuine. He's so genuine. I fully enjoyed meeting him. Very sweet.
Dude, I love how interconnected the Survivor community is. Because I would never, like before today, I would never thinking of, how you would interact with Rizzo. Like that just never entered my. It makes sense, but like,
yeah, he's super sweet.
are there any players that you're close with that people would be surprised to hear about? Like anyone really random, like different season entirely?
Well, I think one of my besties is Chrissy Hoffbeck. I don't know if that would be surprising for people to know, but yeah, we are really, really close and good friends with Sandra, the queen, which is hilarious. People, they're like, what? But sometimes I hang out, like when we would do this one fundraiser, me and Sandra and Courtney and Todd and Boston Rob, we would always do like a costume together. And I would always look at that picture and I would think of that Sesame Street song, like which one of these things is not like the other. It's always I'm like, what is Sister Christian doing in this mix? But you can't help who you're drawn to. I'll just connect. And so I don't know. I'm pretty close with a lot of the moms, Jill Dem from Nicaragua, Lisa Kiefer from Vanuatu, Carolyn Mama C from 30. Yeah, I'm just and of course we all miss and loved Sunday very much. So that was hard. That's a big loss. So
no, that was devastating to hear.
She was a sweet friend. I miss her all the time. Plus she was really good at like getting us together, like making sure that we all, got together and did things. And we haven't really been good about that since she passed away. So it's just been rough, but
maybe it's time to get the gang back together.
It's like I said, when you meet somebody who's been on Survivor, they have been vetted. They have had a psychological exam. Like, what you're getting into. They're probably very similar to you when it comes to passion and excitement and, interests. It's kind of cool.
But no, I like the Chrissy Hoffbeck shout out as well. That makes so much sense. I get that. I feel like y'all would get along really well.
We do.
But again, I don't think about like, oh, I wonder how close Leslie and Chrissy Hoffbeck are in Survivor. Yeah,
we've been close for a long time, very long time. Probably, I don't know, since her season. I met her, and the minute I met her, how when you meet somebody and you're like, holy crap, this person is amazing. We both kind of felt that. It was very instantaneous.
I take it that's who you're rooting for with Survivor 50.
1000%. Yes. I can't wait to see my girl play. I would love to have played with her, but we would have been the same character, so it wouldn't have worked.
And you could have two of the same archetype. I don't know.
You can, yes, but
just make it a whole tribe.
Yeah.
Moms.
The
moms v Gen Alpha.
Yeah, there you go.
Anywho, back on track. We're gonna go over to Sophie B now. Did y'all notice every time they say Soph, it sounds punched in? Like I feel like everyone in their confessionals they say Sophie, but then editors are like, oh wait, no, she has to be Soph now.
Oh,
like I feel like her name,
but I don't like it. I hate that she's the one that got that. Dang it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's unfortunate. I just have two Sophies. Or let it be organic, like it's just, it feels dumb and forced by production.
But we love her. We love her. Loved her since the beginning. I think she's adapting so well. She is another underdog that I would love to see make it to the end. And I think she has a like stellar social game. To be ingratiated to this tribe where they're so like tribal lions are everything. They were willing to get rid of somebody just to keep her. So, wow, go girl. That's amazing.
I honestly think she is playing the best game overall right now. I have her at number 2 because I don't think she ends up winning in the very end. I do think there is a very strong case. And I think it can't be understated how impressive her threat management also is, because she was able to integrate herself so well on a brand new tribe, after losing every single ally she could have had. And no one's been talking about her. No one threw her name out. No one's mentioned that she's a big threat. Instead, people are talking about other Sophie or MC as big threats or Savannah. And Sophie is able to be orbiting the powerful players, the people who are really calling a lot of shots, while also not having to get her hands dirty. So I think she's playing a really clean game right now. I'm not gonna lie.
She's doing great. I killing.
I had to rank with Sophie B at second only because of what I said with Alex. I think the jury is going to be really difficult, especially explaining your game prior to that or having the people and those developed connections for that entire period of time. Just not only having one to really attest to you really sucks. I will say, though, if Alex or Soph sits in the end, I do see a possibility where there won't be a 0 vote finalist because at least there's one person to vote for the other. And I think there wouldn't be a scenario where someone in this jury would be the odd person out.
Right.
Especially with what Soph and Alex had to go through, losing every single member of your tribe and being the last two people standing. I think there's a bond there that I wish would be highlighted a little bit more. It just doesn't seem like important to the overall story.
I think what would be really cool is if either her or, Alex make it to the end and it's one tribe that has the other two finalists, because I think the other tribe may vote for them. I think they would get more than one vote. You know what I mean? I think they would probably not want to vote for that tribe because the tribal lines are so hard that they actually could win. So I think they need to be thinking about that right now in their jury management. Like, who do we want to get out? Let's whittle away at this tribe so that, they will vote for me in the end when the other tribe has the other two finalists.
I think Soph's best move in this instant, though, if that was the case, sit with two Hina members and put Rizzo and Savannah on the jury because they're more than likely to vote for you than Steven, Christina, or any of them are.
And
you have to put your ally. Like, this is what I always say, and I love Survivor players who know the art of timing and when to put your allies on the jury. Send them packing. Because not only will you be able to explain that you played a different game, that you can separate your game from someone else, but you have to have people that are willing to vote for you on the jury. You can't just expect them to hear your story at the end of Final Tribal without showing that loyalty. Be as loyal as possible, but if you know that they're going to go home, let them go.
Let them go.
Yeah.
Do it with a tear. You know what I mean?
Right? Yes, exactly. Let them go. But it's okay to let your allies go every now and then, but you need people who are going to vote for you.
Yes, you do.
I don't think Sophie struggles with the jury votes regardless, though.
Yeah.
I think
convincing. I will say,
like, she's in good with the Hina still. Like, obviously she's, siding with Savannah and Rizzo, but like Steven, I think, understands Sophie's perspective and where Sophie's coming from. I don't think Steven's going to harbor any animosity towards Sophie for playing the game. And so I think Sophie, more than anyone else, suffered more, went to more tribals than Alex even. And so I think, honestly, the challenge with Sophie isn't the jury votes. I think it's just getting to the very end. I think down the line, people are going to call her a big threat, and it's how she can survive that. So I honestly think she needs to keep Savannah in right now. I think keep Savannah as a shield because that's what Sophie needs more than anything else right now.
I agree. I do. She needs a threat in front of her. Yeah.
Maybe get rid of Rizzo.
You know what's crazy though? Like, I feel like at this point, like there can be a perspective for every single player in this game to be a threat. Just and I probably wouldn't have said that had Christina not find an idol, but I think right now every single person has a very valid excuse for why they should not sit in the end.
Yes.
I think it's going to get really, really tough, and it's going to get really, really hard for these players who have to decide what's best for their game, because at some point, I really do think someone on some tribe is going to say, I have to vote out one of my own. And I think that's going to come next episode, whether it's Soph, whether it's Savannah, whether it's Christina, whether it's Steven. Someone is going to flip on their tribe and say, I have to do what's best for my game.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It needs to happen. It's time.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think we might still get one more episode because I think like Steven's going to be grasping for allies and like who does Steven have? You know,
I know.
you can't. I don't think it's wise to just blindly flip because Steven votes out Christina next episode. Who does he have? Juwan and Sage. You know,
and he's going to be at the bottom of
He's gonna be at
anything. That's why he needs to win. Yeah.
And then that just leaves Alex and Sophie joining up with Rizzo and Savannah anyways, you know. So I don't know. I think we have one more episode of it being a slow burn, and I think episode 10 is going to be the episode to watch. I think that's going to have the episode of the season. Josh, and I said MC was the blind side. I disagree.
I honestly was like, because I thought these past 2 episodes are really fantastic. Like
they were.
We got the content we've been waiting for. But I mean, even though maybe a couple of episodes ago was a better episode because it was a little bit more refreshing, this one I think people should really keep it up to that high standard because MC still was a really big person to take out. I thought physically.
No, I agree.
Like MC was the entire package. So now that MC is gone, I was shocked. I mean, this really opens up the field. Steven can play a more fluid game. Alex can really balance. Now I have a choice. I don't have to just stick with these people. I have a choice now. So a lot can change. And I think it's just going to get a little bit more spicy each episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
We're adding the cayenne pepper. You know, we're adding the paprika to the stew.
Back when Survivor used to give the spices as a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, until Caleb almost died.
Was there anything that was hot? Did they ever give like a hot pepper?
Yeah, no. So Survivor Co Wrong, Caleb Reynolds from Big Brother 16, he was on the season for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And in the 3rd episode, the reward challenge was salt and pepper. And it was like 110 degrees outside because it was in Cambodia. And Caleb like passed out. And Jeff Probst even said it was the scariest medevac in Survivor history. Like Caleb had to be in the hospital for days after just to heal and recover. Because
of the spices?
No, because he just exerted himself too much. He got dehydrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it had nothing to do with
a helicopter, right? Didn't they call a helicopter for that one? That was a pretty big medevac.
And it was just for a reward for just salt and pepper. Like,
oh my gosh.
Sophie wants to complain about the new rewards, but like it was bleak. It was bad.
Compete for salt and pepper when you're already dehydrated. That's brutal because you're not even going to use the salt. I mean, it would taste good, but like still, you're going to be dehydrated. You should cook the water first. Boil the water. Make sure you got a lot to drink.
Anywho, moving along, we have our number 1. I feel like there's no other choice after this episode than Savannah.
Yeah.
This was possibly the best episode Savannah could have had this season. Honestly, she recovered. She had this whole episode I felt like was a package to Savannah. It opened up how she was as a character. I think it kind of made sense why she had such a negative edit for a while, where she was always labeled as a mean girl, because I think it extends into this episode. And I think going forward, I don't think we'll see more of the Savannah is a mean girl mantra that we've been seeing from a lot of the players so far. I think now a lot of the discussion would be Savannah's being a huge threat, but I think she's moving away from that, and her edit has just been too good and too squeaky clean. And I don't know. It's hard to deny Savannah her flowers in Survivor 49.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's a great storyteller. She's, very transparent and open in her confessionals, not in the game. And even though she kind of did open up even to Steven in this episode, but, I am so impressed with her. I think, she'll probably win. I mean, I thought that the first time I saw her make a confessional, just the way she was so like, I'm here and this is my time. I was like, hell yeah, she's got this. She knows what she's up for. And, she's really adapted well, and she's made the relationships well. She knows when to irritate people in a way, that I think is so hilarious. I don't know. She's very good. I'm excited. And she needed that win. Like,
Yeah.
that to me is so freaking impressive when somebody knows if I don't win, I'm going, and like they just like pull something out of the universe. I don't know. And they just crush it. That's always so exciting for me. So that was fun to see.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It was the perfect bounce back episode after getting blindsided the last vote, not knowing where she was. Started off this episode saying, I don't know anything. And then bam, by the end of the episode, she's controlling votes. She's getting advantages. Rizzo still has the idol. And I think this next episode will be dictated by Savannah. I think she has her power back. She has the control.
I don't think she's going to get rid of it either. I think she's going to hold on to it. I really do.
I also don't. Here's what I will say. This is what I don't understand. I don't know if it was just the producers giving Savannah an extra vote, but I didn't see the need for the clause that said you don't have to vote. I mean, you have immunity already, and you're being given a bank of vote. You're not going to vote anyway. You might as well just give Savannah. You might as well just tell her, Savannah, you can't vote at this tribal, but you're going to get an extra vote. Congrats. That's like, it just, I felt like they might have been feeding her something, or I don't know. But what I can say is from this point, she not only had the influence on both sides, she got to talk to everybody for this entire round. She has the information of what happened. And it was even more leverage for her to say, I got to vote. Mm-hmm. I don't know how she's going to recover, though, when everybody says, so there were only 5 votes. Anybody want to talk about that? I think at some point, someone's got to say, something happened. There's something more. Yeah. And I think Sage is the only one who clocked that this past episode when she did say in a confessional, I think Savannah has something more. I don't think it's just having immunity, because what's the power in that? Oh, cool. I could just kick back, put my feet up and just watch tribal. You might as well be on the jury seat just so you can watch, but have no influence over anything. I would suspect there's something more too. I think that's the thing about Sage. She's very perceptive, and I will give Sage that. She knows the dynamic. She understands her, maybe not fully, unless she does, but she understands her position to some extent. And I think she's like the David of last season, where David is seeing where the real enemy is. He's seeing where they need to look, and nobody's listening. I think Sage is getting that edit of the person who was always right, who nobody listened to, and it might hurt Sage in the end.
Yeah. I was really shocked that Savannah told them that she got to vote. I wouldn't have done that, because I immediately said, why would you vote when it's just these people doing their thing? Let them duke it out. Don't even mention that there's a vote involved. Just say, hey, the only advantage is that I get to come and hang out with you guys, and I get to hear both sides. So I kind of know a little more about what's going on. I would have never said, and I get to vote, because they would have noticed. And I know that's going to come up. But I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow. Yeah. But I also know when you're out there and you don't have food and you're, exhausted and you're strategizing and you're paranoid, like you don't think about things as well as you think you're going to. It's very difficult out there. So my thought was, she just, maybe just had a brain freeze. Yeah. I don't know why she said it. I wouldn't have done that.
I think the logic is, no matter what would have happened, she had to have gone into the voting booth regardless. So it would have been a tough sale, like being at tribal council, seeing Savannah walk to the voting booth and then not noticing another vote, or Savannah trying to lie and said that she didn't have a vote, and then still seeing her actively go to the voting booth at tribal council. I think that was a little hard to discern from. Yeah. Also, Gemini makes a comment, I'm not sure they'll know there are only 5 votes. That I think is also true, because it was a 4-1.
Yeah, the 3 won it. Yeah.
See, that's the thing that would also be so scary in Survivor that I don't really consciously think about, is that when the vote count is over and they have that majority, they don't reveal the rest of the votes. And I think that's terrifying, is when you can't really get a sense of what that total vote count is. It's us as the viewer who gets to see that after the episode.
Well, they'll still show the votes in a way that will reveal all.
Oh,
They
really?
don't hide. Yeah, they don't hide information. So if
I
it's,
thought
if it's a
they
vote,
did. I was about
no,
to say.
no.
Wasn't
Like-
it like 3 votes that won it?
Yeah, because I thought
Yeah.
it was a 3-1.
votes, and then there was 2. Why didn't they read that 6th one? You know what I mean? Because if it
Yeah.
could have been a tie, why didn't they? You know what I mean? Unless, I don't know. To
Yeah.
me, I feel like it was too obvious that she didn't. But I mean, I don't blame her for not doing it. I just wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I do think because it was a 4-1 at the end of the day. I think that's enough to hide the 6th vote because the 6th vote
Yeah.
didn't matter,
Right.
especially with how they read it.
Yeah.
But
Was
yeah,
it
no.
4-1? Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
3-2. Okay. Then that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I keep the Survivor wiki on another monitor so I can just quickly search up facts
look
and
see. I don't know
make
why
sure.
I thought it was 3. I thought he said that's 3 votes. That's enough. I thought that's what he said.
Yeah. Honestly, once I get to that part of Tribal, I kind of just zone out anyways. I don't really finish it because I mainly watch it for like the confession. I watch it for the meat and potatoes. The
Yes,
actual
of course.
episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that honestly is it from us. Leslie, I just want to say thank you so much. Let me find there we go.
There we go.
A nice big screen for us all. But thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday afternoon.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Open invitation to if ever want to come back. Survivor 50. If you want to talk about your bestie, Chrissy Hoffback.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I would love that. That would be so fun. Yes.
But and to the viewers as well, thanks everyone. We recently just got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Big milestone. 6-year-old me would be over the moon. Gemini, Leslie, would you ever want to play again? If
I would love to, because I am not the same person I was. I was so afraid of everything back then. I was afraid of making God look bad. I was afraid of lying. I was afraid of cheating. I was afraid of saying a cuss word. And I literally, it was so much pressure I put on myself for no reason. And I don't have that anymore. And so I think I would be I have the same heart, but I'm not as afraid anymore. So yeah, I would love to play, but I don't think, I lasted 3 episodes. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm on their radar, but it would be great. I would love it. I think it'd be entertaining to see just how different. And I am this way because I went on Survivor and it opened my eyes. So I think it'd be really interesting. Maybe you fans can start a petition or something.
You heard it here. Honestly, again, there's so many Survivor players who didn't make it that far and weren't lucky enough to come back because there's not a lot of returnee seasons too. Yeah. And Survivor loves to bring back the same 5 people regardless. Sari gets a 10th season. Boston Rob gets a 14th season. I don't think it'd be a bad idea to bring back a lot of players whose lives have changed from Survivor. You get a lot of introspection and room for people to rewrite narratives, like another second chance-esque season.
I would love it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know that they would call, but if they did, I'm packed, ready to go. So I already have my strategy.
Josh will break into CBS headquarters. He'll demand it.
I'll do it.
Yep.
We'll find out.
I can't. I want to actually go on Survivor still, so I need to have good relations. Josh can be the sacrificial lamb.
You can be bad guy. That's funny.
Anywho, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, y'all. And I'll see y'all next week, 1 p.m. every Friday to talk about episode 10.
Bye,
Peace.
See ya.